Failure is that thing we want directly communicating to us. It's directly telling us, this is not how you're gonna get to me.
I wouldn't say the worst part of failure is the disappointment or the distress that follows it. Truthfully, I believe when failure occurs, we begin to feel the uncertainty of our future intensify. We begin to ask ourselves questions like, is it time to give up? Is it not meant to be? We become afraid of the past repeating itself indefinitely. We become afraid of failure.
A really interesting insight that I've been able to make over the past year is that the concept of failing never really existed to us until someone told us that we had failed at something, and it became something we wanted to avoid. I believe that our first goal, our first ambition in life was to learn how to walk. You know, we saw all the adults around us walking, we see our cousins walking, we see all these people walking, and I feel like that's sort of the first expectation that someone, our parents, our guardian, or anyone, that's the first expectation that we probably ever experienced in life. In that process of learning how to walk, for most of us, you know, it took us a year, you know, maybe a couple of months. It took us 2 years to learn how to walk. And what's most interesting about that is, as children, as literal babies, we don't know that we're failing. We don't know that we're not succeeding. We don't know that. And we continue this process of failing and trying for, you know, years, or for a year, for months. And we don't get discouraged. And walking eventually becomes as easy as breathing. This perseverance, this patience we have as children, it really shows that patience is a natural virtue of us. Patience is something that we are naturally born with that helps us accomplish our goals. We might cry for like 3-4 minutes because we fell and we hurt ourselves, but we literally forget about it the next day and we try to walk again. Of course, we all experience trying something and not getting what we want, but this term failure, this negative connotation of this common experience that everyone experiences, that set the tone for the rest of our experiences of desiring something and not getting what we want. So I want to reintroduce you to failure, and we're going to replace failure with the phrase indicator of progress. My favorite metaphor for failure is the ice cube example used by James Clear in Atomic Habits. So imagine you have an ice cube on a table in a room that's like 20 degrees, and your goal is to melt the ice cube by heating up the room slowly. Let's say you turn it up 3 notches. The ice cube's not changing. So obviously, using our common sense, we're gonna heat up the room some more. So we continue to raise the heat, still no obvious change. Do you give up at this point? Like, is the ice cube just like literally like stuck, like you can't change it or anything? 28, 29, like at this point it's like, bruh, this ice cube is stuck. So now you dial it up a little bit more, 30, 31, 32, oh, and you finally see the first signs of melting in your ice cube. So when you get to like 30 degrees, you finally see that little drop, you finally see a sign of the ice cube melting, and it's like a deep breath. And it's like it was heating up the whole time. It was working the whole time. The same process of heating up an ice cube is similar to the same process of accomplishing one of your goals. You don't see any obvious change for, like, you know, maybe those 9 degrees represents 9 days. Maybe those 9 degrees represent 9 weeks. Maybe those 9 degrees represent 9 months. We don't see any obvious change in these stages, any drastic changes in the stages. But when we hit that 30, when we hit that 10 mark, we finally see the effort that we've been putting in, the heat that we've been increasing with every, you know, step. We finally see that all collectively show a result. Failure is that slow, no change area, and then boom. We have to understand that right now we are melting ice cubes, okay? We feel stagnant, we don't see any change, but that doesn't mean that we're failing. That means that the temperature We gotta increase the temperature until, boom, we see the change. Failure is the language of our dreams. Failure is the language of your goals. Failure is the language of everything you desire. Failure is that thing we want directly communicating to us. It's directly telling us, this is not how you're gonna get to me. That wasn't the right path, but the other one is still open. We need practice in this area of our lives, so I'm going to keep you here. I want you to stay here, because in order to get where you need to be, we need a little bit more practice, a little bit more experience in this area. We all have this misconception that overcoming failure is about learning to move on. It's about, finding something else to motivate us, staying motivated. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Overcoming failure is about redefining your relationship with failure itself. The next step is learning how to transcribe these messages from our goals and our dreams. It's about learning how to transcribe the messages that failure sends us. We can do this by analyzing our failures and asking ourselves questions like, why did it go wrong? What type of failure was it? Did you fail because of a lack of ability? Did you fail because a lack of attention? Did you fail because you just didn't have all the skills you needed to succeed in that area? Was the execution incomplete? Was there a step you missed? Was it a lack of clarity? Were you not sure what you were supposed to do and maybe you could have took more time to research it? There's so many reasons for failure and each one has a solution. Transcribing those messages helps, decrease those amount of trials you have to do. And it's a beautiful process. It's a beautiful process. It's like a project. It's like a project of life, I hope by the end of this video you feel like it's okay to fail, because failure is an indicator of progress. Failure is a learned concept that we can reverse. To end off this video, I want to properly introduce myself. My name is Kiyomiyo. I plan on making so much more content about personal growth, about adulting, about getting what we want. So I want to make it a challenge down below. Let's talk about some of our shortcomings in life. Let's talk about some of our failures that we may have encountered in life, and let's write what we thought about them, right, at the heat of the moment. So when we were anxious and we were fearful of them, let's kind of describe that to each other, the pain, the emotional turmoil that we went through. Then under that, I want you to comment below, what do you think your goal was trying to tell you? So let's all kind of try to transcribe some of our failures together. I hope everyone is having a blessed night, day, morning. It's night here, and I'll see you all in my next video. Thank you for watching. Kiyomiyo out.